Hello, yet another time, fellow people. I appreciate y'all putting up with me. I'm sure I'm not the easiest to listen to, but I'm trying for y'all and I'm trying for me. That's the best we can do. Today, January 23rd, we're going to be covering Exodus. Let me double check. 24 through 26. It's a little dense, and I'm going to do my best. If you missed the last episode, go check that out. But basically, the Lord just gave the instructions on, laws concerning servants and violence between people, animal control, the responsibility for property if it gets damaged or stolen, I guess, morals and ceremonial principles, and the law of the Sabbath to remember to rest on the seventh day, and the 3 annual feasts to hold for the Lord, and the angel's promise to drive all the Canaanites, Hittites, Amorites, Perizzites, and Jebusites, and maybe I missed some, out of the land of Canaan, I assume, and that shall be the land now for the Israelites. So let's just hop into Exodus 24. Let's get started. All right, this is Israel affirms the covenant. Now he, the Lord, says to Moses, "Come up to the Lord, you and Aaron, Nadab and Abihu, and 70 of the elders of Israel, and worship from afar. And so Moses alone shall come near the Lord, but they shall not come near, nor shall the people go up with him." So Moses came and told the people all the words that the Lord and the judgments. And all the people answered with one voice and said, "All the words which the Lord has said we will do." And Moses wrote all the words of the Lord. And he rose early in the morning and built an altar at the foot of the mountain, and 12 pillars according to the 12 tribes of Israel. Then he sent young men of the children of Israel, who offered burnt offerings and sacrificed peace offerings of oxen to the Lord. And Moses took half the blood and put it in basins, and half the blood he sprinkled on the altar. Then he took the book of the covenant and read in the hearing of the people and said, "All that the Lord has said we will do and be obedient." And Moses took the blood, sprinkled it on the people, and said, "This is the blood of the covenant which the Lord has made with you according to all these words." So I don't know if getting sprinkled with blood seals the deal, but that's what happened. And so onto the mountain with God. Then Moses went up, also Aaron, Nadab and Abihu, and the 70 elders of Israel, and they saw God, the God of Israel. And there was under his feet as it were a paved work of sapphire stone, and it was like the very heavens in its clarity. But on the nobles of the children of Israel he did not lay his hand. So they saw God, and they ate and drank. And then Moses, the Lord said to him, "Come unto me unto the mountain and be there, and I will give you tablets of stone, and the law and the commandments which I have written, so that you may teach them." So I don't know if these tablets, which are going to contain the 10 commandments, it looks like they've already been written and chiseled in, and so it doesn't look like he has to write it, if I read that right. So Moses arose with his assistant Joshua, and Moses went up to the mountain of God. He said to the elders, "Wait here for us until we come back to you. Indeed, Aaron and Hur are with you. If any man has difficulty, let them go to him." So I guess Moses, I think he's alone, but it said he got up with Joshua, his assistant. But Aaron and Hur, they're there to settle the disputes like Moses always does if anyone needs anything at that time. Then Moses went up to the mountain, and a cloud covered the mountain. Now the glory of the Lord rested on Mount Sinai, and the cloud covered it for 6 days. And on the 7th day he called Moses out of the midst of the cloud. The sight of the glory of the Lord was like a consuming fire on the top of the mountain in the eyes of the children of Israel. So Moses went into the midst of the cloud and went up into the mountain. And Moses was on the mountain for 40 days and 40 nights. Yeah, so I guess they're just at the base of the mountain looking up, and it's just looks like a fire up there. The mountain, and Moses is up there for 40 days and 40 nights. But I'm having a hard time because it says, Moses went into the mountain, and a cloud covered the mountain, and the cloud covered it for 6 days, and on the seventh day he called to Moses out of the midst of the cloud. So, I don't know if that was part of the 40 days and 40 nights. It's a little confusing to me. Let me know what y'all think. So, on to Exodus 25. Offerings for the sanctuary. Then the Lord spoke to Moses, saying, Speak to the children of Israel, that they bring me an offering. From everyone who gives it willingly out of his heart, you shall take my offering. And with this, the offering for which you shall take from them is gold, silver, and bronze, blue, purple, and scarlet thread, fine linen, and goat's hair, ram skin dyed red, badger skins, and acacia wood, oil for the light, and spices for the anointing oil and for the sweet incense, onyx stones and stones to be set in the ephod and in the breastplate, and let them make me a sanctuary, that I may dwell among them, according to all that I show you, that is, the pattern of the tabernacle, and the pattern of all its furnishings, so that you shall make it. So, God's saying, make them give me all these items and stuff, and make a like a holy place, a tabernacle, a tent, if you will. And then he's fixing to give them all the instructions on how to make the stuff that goes into it. So let's continue. So this is the Ark of the Testimony. Think of like a big box made of gold, but I'm going to take you all through the scripture here. It says, and they shall make an ark of acacia wood, 2.5 cubits shall be the length, and 1.5 cubits its width, and 1.5 cubits its height. So a cubit, you'll find different stuff on the internet, but basically it's like 18 inches, just I think from the, your elbow to the top of your hand. So big old box, like 2 cubits high, and 1.5 cubits. It'd be like that, I guess. Width, wide, and tall. So, right. And you shall overlay the box with pure gold inside and out. You shall overlay it, and shall make it a molding of gold all around. You shall cast 4 rings of gold for it, and put them on its 4 corners. 2 rings shall be on one side, and 2 shall be on the other. And you shall make poles of acacia wood, and overlay them with gold. And you shall put the poles into the rings on the sides of the ark, which is like the box, and the ark may be carried by them. So a big old box with rings, and a pole goes through them, so the guys can carry it, I guess. And so you shall put the poles into the rings on the side of the ark, that they may be carried. The poles shall be in the rings of the ark, and they shall not be taken from it. And you shall put into the ark the testimony which I give you. You shall make a mercy seat of pure gold. 2.5 cubits shall be its length, and 1.5 cubits its width. And you shall make 2 cherubim of gold, of hammered work. You shall make them at the 2 ends of the mercy seat. Make 1 cherubim at the one end, and the other cherubim at the other end. You shall make the cherubim at the 2 ends, one piece with the mercy seat. And the cherubim shall stretch out their wings above, covering the mercy seat with their wings, and they shall face one another, and the cherubim shall be toward the mercy seat. You shall put the mercy seat on top of the ark, and in the ark you shall put the testimony that I will give you. So maybe it's like a throne. I'm not too sure what that mercy seat is, but the testimony that he will give you, I assume that's the 10 Commandments. Like the tablets are going to go in the testimony, which is the ark, the box. I'm trying to paint a picture, but I might not have the best understanding. And there I will meet you, and I will speak with you from above the mercy seat, from between the 2 cherubim which are on the ark of the testimony, about everything in which I will give you the commandment to the children of Israel. So that's basically the box and the mercy seat, which is the ark of the testimony. So now onto the table for the showbread. You shall also make a table of acacia wood. 2 cubits shall be its length, and 1 cubit its width, and 1.5 cubits its height. And you shall overlay it with pure gold, and make a molding of gold all around. You shall make it a frame of handbreadth all around, and you shall make a golden molding for the frame all around. And you shall make for it 4 rings, and put rings on 4 corners that are its 4 legs, and the rings shall be close to the frame as holders for the poles to bear the table. And you shall make the poles of acacia wood, and overlay them with gold, and that the table may be carried with them. And you shall make its dishes, its pans, its pitchers, and its bowls for pouring. You shall make them of all pure gold. And you shall set the showbread on the table before me always. So I don't know if a showbread is just like a piece of bread that's always on there for like display as like some symbolism. But yeah, the table has got some rings for the poles as well, so it can be carried. And then all the china, I guess, on it's going to be made of pure gold. Onto the gold lampstand. You shall also make a lampstand of pure gold. The lampstand shall be of hammered wood work. Its shaft, its branches, its bowls, or its ornament knobs and flowers shall be of all one piece. All 6 branches shall come out of its sides, 3 branches on one side and 3 branches on the other, and of the lampstand on one side. 3 bowls shall be made like almond blossoms on one branch, with an ornament knob and a flower, and 3 bowls made like almond blossoms on the other side, on the other branch, with an ornament knob and a flower as well. And so for the 6 branches that come out of the lampstand, so I guess when it says bowls, it's like like the little cups for like candles to go onto. So 3 and 3. On the lampstand itself, 4 bowls shall be made like almond blossoms, with each ornament knob and a flower. And there shall be a knob under the first 2 branches of the same, with a knob under the second 2 branches of the same, and a knob under the third 2 branches of the same, according to the 6 branches that extend from the lampstand. And their knobs and their branches shall be of one piece, and it all shall be hammered work of pure gold. And you shall make 7 of these lamps, and they shall arrange in its lamps so that they give light in front of it. And its wick trimmers and their trays shall also be of pure gold, and it shall be made of a talent of pure gold with all these utensils. And see to it that you make them according to the pattern which was shown to you on the mountain. So I need some time to think on that and really piece things together. So maybe these lamps are super extravagant, and maybe it's not just like the 6 bowls. Maybe I should just get on Google and find a picture. You should too. Okay, on to Exodus 26. This is the tabernacle. Moreover, you shall make the tabernacle with 10 curtains of fine woven linen, and blue and purple and scarlet thread, with artistic designs of cherubim you shall weave them. So the length of each curtain shall be 28 cubits, and the width of each curtain shall be 4 cubits. And every one of these curtains shall have the same measurements. 5 curtains shall be coupled to one another, and the other 5 shall be coupled to one another. And you shall make loops of blue yarn on the edge of the curtain of the selvage of one set, and likewise you shall do on the outer edge of the curtain on the second set. 50 loops you shall make in one curtain, and 50 loops shall you make on the edge of the curtain that is on the second set, that the loops may be clasped to one another. And you shall make 50 clasps of gold, and couple the curtains together with the clasps, so that it may be one tabernacle. So I guess the curtain's got to be interlaced and clasped with gold links to the little loops that are made, is my take on that. You shall also make the curtains of goat's hair to be a tent over the tabernacle. Or you shall also make curtains of goat hair, so these are separate, to be a tent over the tabernacle, and you shall make 11 curtains. The length of each curtain shall be 30 cubits, and the width of each shall be 4 cubits, and the 11 curtains shall have the same measurements. And you shall couple 5 curtains by themselves, and 6 curtains by themselves, and you shall double over the 6th curtain at the front of the tent. You shall make 50 loops on the edge of each curtain that is outermost in one set, and 50 loops on the edge of the curtain that is the second set. And you shall make 50 bronze clasps, and put the clasps into the loops, and couple the tent together, that it may be one. The remnant that remains of the curtains of the tent, the half curtain that remains, shall hang over the back of the tabernacle, and a cubit on one side and a cubit on the other side of what remains of the length of the curtains of the tent shall hang over the sides of the tabernacle on this side and on the side that covers it. And you shall also make a covering of ram skins dyed red for the tent, and a covering of badger skins above that. So I think that's the roof. Those 11, curtains. So, and for the tabernacle you shall make the boards of acacia wood standing upright. 10 cubits shall be the length of a board, and a cubit and a half shall be the width of each board. And 2 tenons shall be in each board for binding to one another. Thus you shall make for all the boards of the tabernacle. You shall make the boards of the tabernacle 20 boards for the south side, and 20 boards, for the north side. And so therefore there should be 40 sockets of silver under the 20 boards on one side, 2 sockets under each of the board for its 2 tenons. So I guess that's either like the joinery, maybe. So they're just like getting 2 sockets of silver. I'm trying to paint a picture in my mind, but it's not working too good right now. But and so for the far side, like the west side, it's going to be 6 boards, and you shall also make 2 boards for the back 2 corners of the tabernacle, and they shall be coupled together at the bottom, and they should be coupled together at the top by 1 ring. Thus shall be for both of them. They shall be for the 2 corners. So there shall be 8 boards with their sockets of silver, 16 sockets, and 2 sockets under each of the boards. So maybe it's like 20 boards on the north side, 20 boards on the south side, 6 boards maybe on the west, and then they're not counting the corners, and so it'd be technically like 8 boards on the west. Maybe. Alright, so continuing, it says, and you shall make bars of acacia wood, 5 for the boards on the one side of the tabernacle, 5 bars on the boards of the other side of the tabernacle, and 5 bars for the boards on the side of the tabernacle on the west side. And the middle bar shall pass through the midst of the boards from end to end. And you shall overlay the boards with gold, and make their rings of gold as holders for the bars, and overlay the bars with gold. And you shall rise up the tabernacle according to its pattern for which you were shown on the mountain. You shall you shall make a veil woven of blue, purple, and scarlet thread, and fine woven linen, and it shall be woven with an artistic design of cherubim. You shall hang it on the 4 pillars of acacia wood, overlaid with gold, and their hooks shall be gold upon the 4 silver sockets. And you shall hang the veil from the clasps. Then you shall bring the ark of the testimony in there behind the veil, and the veil shall be a divider between the holy place and the most holy. And you shall put a mercy seat upon the ark of the testimony in the most holy area. You shall set the table outside the veil in just the regular holy area, and the lampstand across from the table on the side to the south, and you shall put the table on the north side. You shall make a screen for the door of the tabernacle, woven of blue, purple, and scarlet thread, and a fine woven linen made by a weaver. And you shall make for the screen 5 pillars of acacia wood, and overlay them with gold. Their hooks shall be gold, and you shall cast 5 sockets of bronze for them. And that is the end of Exodus 26, and the instructions on how to make the tabernacle and all the stuff that goes inside of the tabernacle. It's pretty dense reading. I would suggest going through it by yourself in your own Bible, maybe trying to get a better picture. But yeah, that's what Moses went up on the mountain and discussed with the Lord. So we'll continue tomorrow on Exodus 27 through 29. on January 24th of 2025. Thank you for tuning in. Make sure to please like, subscribe, comment, give me some insight if you think I'm wrong or you think I'm right. And we'll see you on the next one. Thank you so much.